All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I am back with another video. All right, y'all, shout out to one of my subscribers, Wildest Moments. She had actually sent this link to me and wanted to know my thoughts on this little documentary. She left it in the comment section of one of the videos. If y'all don't want to look for it, of course, I'll put the link to it in the description here. But she sent me this documentary that was on Red Corner MMA's YouTube channel. And it's a nice little 24-minute piece leading up to Valentina Shevchenko's rematch with Alexa Grasso. And it doesn't just cover the Alexa Grasso fight, the rematch and everything. It doesn't even really like play back any of the fight like that. And it's not really that big of a segment on that, but it's actually a nice little piece that just talks about Valentina's life, leading up to today, when she started in the world of mixed martial arts and just martial arts in general. It covers that all the way up till now in just, 24 minutes. And it's a good little piece. Like, I like how they broke it up into different sections and, they just cover those sections. And, she just went into different parts of her life. So I recommend this documentary, of course, for the diehard Valentina Shevchenko fans. Y'all got to definitely watch it if you haven't seen it. But I also recommend it for anybody that's a big fan of martial arts, because if you watch this documentary, you will really respect Valentina Shevchenko even more as a fighter, because the way she speaks on martial arts and the way she approaches martial arts, you got to respect that type of fighter. You got to respect that type of person. She really loves the art of it, and she loves the work that's put into it and the rewards that come with it. She wants to be the best, and she claims to be the best because she puts in that type of work, right? So when you have that type of a fighter that really dedicates himself to it, you really just got to show him respect. Whether you didn't like Valentina in the past, or if you like her now, or if you liked her before, the Grasso fight, and you're mad now, you just got to go back, or you're mad that she lost. Go back and watch this. Go back and watch this documentary, and, it'll definitely put Valentina in a different light, especially if you didn't like her before. But if you really want to know, like, the definition of, like, a true martial artist of today, you definitely got to check this one out, because, Valentina, she just breaks it down nicely on, why she fights and how she started, all of that. Even in, like I said, she talks about the Grasso fight a little bit. But the documentary is broke up into a few different sections. Like, it starts off with her life. The first part's called The Rise. She talks about, when she first got into a martial art, Taekwondo, fighting at 12 years old, beating a 17-year-old, winning her first world championship at 15, knocking out a 25-year-old, and just the people that were influential in her life, like Pavel, and of course her mom being a big mixed martial artist as well, Antonina. All of these people were, really pushing her in that right direction and, really making her the fighter that she is today. But one of the parts where she talked about that was interesting to me, of course, is the diet thing. Because, lifestyle for a fighter is something I always, find fascinating. Whenever a fighter, they can really just they can commit to everything that goes into their body. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to train and do, all these drills and run and road work. That's all great too. I like watching that. But when you care about what's going into your body, like, she cares about food preparation, but it's about balance too. Like, she doesn't restrict everything out of her life. Like, she understands that, look, during this period when I'm working, I got to eat a certain way, right? That's why she cares about food preparation. But like she said, she loves fries and she loves sweets, and I can be like that too. Like, there's a time when I like it, but I try not to indulge. It's all about balance. And, I think a lot of people have to learn that. Like, if you hear how she talks about it, it's like, okay, you don't have to cut everything out, but you have to understand that you have to have these periods where you really focus on what's going into your body. So you can, as a fighter, you can keep yourself clean, stay closer to your weight. The weight cuts aren't as rough, and you're just always closer to that shape that you need to be in, So yeah, balance is something that Valentina is always focused on. That's something I always respected her on. Next section they talked about, of course, was the Alexa Grasso rematch. And, she talked about, okay, I still feel like I'm the best fighter, but even as being the best fighter, you have to have full attention. She said you have to have full attention because, hey, I was winning the fight 1 second and it changes, and that happens to the best of them. So I think that's the best way she can put it now, because once you try to deny it or just say, oh, there was an excuse, this and that happened, the ref, this, that kind of stuff will hold you back. But as long as she understands that, look, I made a mistake. I let it once. And if I didn't lose my focus in that moment, I wouldn't have lost, right? So that's good that she understands that, because now she's going to say, when I go back to the drawing board, nothing too fancy, this girl's going to have my full attention, because when my full attention is there, I can still win this fight. Grasso was giving her a good fight, but, she was still winning when it came down to it. So if she focuses, she could come away with some redemption in this one, right? So, yeah, other things they talked about, they asked her a few different questions, like, does she watch fights? And, she says she does watch fights, because I know there are a lot of boxers sometimes, they be like, oh, I watch boxing enough. I box and I don't like watching fights. But she still respects the game. Like I said, she likes watching martial arts. She likes watching martial arts because that's how you learn on what's changing in the game, right? Like what the game's evolving into and learning new moves. So, she actually watches fights to, get better, with her skill sets and learning new things, She said her favorite martial artist of all time, and got to respect her for this, as far as, just the breakout and just being influential all over the world and to MMA, was Bruce Lee. And I know a lot of people say, well, Bruce Lee wasn't like an MMA fighter. Well, Bruce Lee, as an actor and a philosopher, Bruce Lee, he studied a lot of different martial arts, and he incorporated them all into that one style of what Jeet Kune Do, and kind of set like the blueprint. He set the blueprint with it and said, look, this is how you have to be, to be the best fighter in the world. You can't just do one style. You have to incorporate all different styles, right? You have to be like water, right? So famous philosopher as well, but what he talked about and what he was about was very influential to the sport of MMA. Another thing she said was, that I took away from the interview, was that, one of the best self-defenses that people need to learn, period, is just mixed martial arts. She didn't say like one specific discipline, but, mixed martial arts, that was like the number one, So, yeah, I thought it was a good documentary overall. My thoughts, like I said, definitely check it out. I love the cinematography, as a film fan and a cameraman myself, I like good cinematography with, documentary pieces. I like when they put in that work to really zoom in on the fighters' reactions when they're training, the sweating and, the pain that they're experiencing in training when they're just sitting there waiting for the next round. All of that matters to me, and especially how they incorporate in shots from, when she was a kid. They made them, them shots look old. I was like, I know Valentina ain't no 50-year-old lady, but them old pictures they had of her, they like little Polaroids from like the 1970s or something. I was like, dang, and she ain't even as old as me, but I was just like, dang, man. I was like, them little shots, whenever she was like a little kid and stuff, I was like, wow, those Polaroids are now really that old, huh? But yeah, anyways, man, good documentary. I'm gonna watch it again, myself, because yeah, I like cinematic pieces like this, like All Access for boxing and things like that. So yeah, thanks to Wildest Moments for recommending this one to me, because I didn't see it, and I love good documentaries, leading up to fights, because the backstory, sometimes the behind the scene is what really makes you want to see what actually goes on in the cage. So yeah, guys, check it out. And Valentina Shevchenko, she's still a powerful representative of the sport of MMA. Combo Breaker 99, I'm out. Peace.